Why is the government banning sex for those who aren't married?
I haven't seen that report. I can't comment.
Well,
Look at the law.
Well, it's all over the place. A proposed new law, a Telegraph, will make it illegal for couples who live in different homes to meet for an indoor romantic liaison and stay overnight during lockdown. In other words, it's going to be illegal to do what the government's chief modeller was doing.
Well, you know, there are those stories, and then there's stories about what China is doing in Hong Kong, what China did to cover up this story in the first place.
We'll come to what China's doing. We'll come to what China's doing. I'm more interested in whether you think it's right that couples, unless they're married and living together, or they can be unmarried living together, that couples, it's going to be illegal, according to the government.
What a fucking joke. What a joke. A sex ban? This is all part of Agenda 21. They want to reduce the population. That's what there's all this mask and social distancing is all about. And then are they putting a sex ban?
Meet for an indoor romantic liaison for anybody.
You're reading something out of a newspaper, which I haven't seen.
No, it's
I'm
proposed.
sure Parliament
It's a
comes back
proposed.
again.
Well, it's a proposed new law. You're a Tory MP,
and
you're speaking on behalf of your party today. I'm just curious what you think of it.
Right, and respect the fact that I haven't seen that particular report, nor read the article. So
okay, but what do you think?
I've just
What's
told
your
you.
reaction?
I've just told you what it is.
Right, and I haven't read the report, and I haven't
What's your
seen the
reaction?
article.
What's your reaction to it?
I haven't read the report, and I haven't seen the article. How many times do you want to ask me the same question?
I've just read you the article.
I haven't read the report. I'm not going to give you a spontaneous answer. For all I know, this is taken out of context.
Christopher.
Yeah, these MPs and the royal family, they've been money laundering and embezzling money from the taxpayer. Fact. You check on Companies House, it's a fact. They are all criminals.
Well, Christopher Hope, this is the Daily Telegraph, the paper that Boris Johnson used to work for. Christopher Hope, their chief political correspondent, a proposed new law will make it illegal for couples who live in different homes to meet for an indoor romantic liaison and then stay overnight during the coronavirus lockdown. It's going to be a law proposed by the Conservative government. You're a Tory MP. So that's what the proposal is. I'm just asking what your reaction is.
Well, I'll take away thinking about it. But could I suggest that maybe that you bump Robert Peston off the coronavirus briefing this evening, and you can ask whoever is taking that briefing that direct question.
Well, I just find you're being very sort of disinterested in something that would actually have a massive effect on people in this country. It's basically saying unless you're living with somebody.
And Piers is going at the angle of being opposition. They need to have opposition. And he's paid opposition. Everyone you see on this program, they have been switched. They're all transgender.
Or married to somebody and living in the same home, you will not be allowed by law to go and meet other people and have sex with them. It's really what this law is about. That's an extraordinary intrusion and invasion into people's lives.
How are you going to police it?
Criminalisation of it.
I don't doubt any of that. You're not respecting the facts, and you wonder why MPs, ministers don't come on your shows. You've asked me the same question a number of times, and I've given you the same answer, yet you're still asking the same question.
Well, I'm asking the question because it's going to affect millions and millions of British people. The fact you haven't bothered to read the papers yet is not my problem.
They can't police it. They just want this niggling law in the back of people's brains. It's fear. Don't succumb to the fear.
Is it?
No, I've been here since 6 in the morning in my office waiting to come on to see you.
Well, why didn't you spend some of that time checking what was in the news, given you're doing an interview on a news programme? It's what basic people would do, isn't it? I mean, you can get all high and mighty with us by the fact you haven't read this story, but millions of our viewers have woken up to a revelation that the British government is going to make it illegal for people to meet in each other's homes and stay overnight and have sex with each other.
What a
That seems to me an
fucking
extraordinary
joke.
story, worthy, if I may say so, with great respect to you, of your attention and interest as a Conservative MP, a member of a party which is going to instill this on people.
What a fucking joke. It's a joke. People around the world are going to be looking at the British government and thinking, what the fuck is this? We need to take them down. Enough is enough.
Isn't it? I mean, I don't think I'm being unreasonable.
That's for the minister to respond to. It really isn't a story, given my portfolio, my interests, that I'm really going to be looking at first thing in the morning when I get up to come on the Good Morning Britain show.
Okay, well, if I was advising any Tory MP doing a show in the morning on breakfast television for anyone, I would just say, check what's in the news, because you might get asked about it. And I'm sorry for asking you about what's in the news. I can only apologise. Let's go to Andrew Pierce. Andrew, let me ask you for your reaction to that story, because it's one of those stories that pops up, and when you read it, you're like, sorry, what?
To establish, of course, this is because the government has banned gatherings of 2 or more people in private spaces. When they eased the lockdown, we wondered whether grandparents could see their grandchildren, family members could see each other. Yes, you can, at a distance of 2 meters and outside. And then, of course, people said, of course, that means that there's a ban on 2 people meeting closer than 2 meters indoors. Ergo, a sex ban.
It's ridiculous. It's a complete joke. I like Tobias very much. I don't know why Tobias just doesn't use the word ridiculous. And apart from anything else, apart from being ridiculous, how are they going to enforce it?
I'm happy to say it's ridiculous, but
Good, there we are.
Well, there you are. You just answered the question you've refused to answer for 10 minutes. Why didn't you just say it to
not
start with?
at all. It's just you're spending so much time on such a matter which, on the face of it, does look ridiculous.
The
But you
UK
don't
government
respect the fact
want a
that I've
sex
not,
ban.
read into the story. We've just spent 5 minutes on a story which
You've
really
just answered
is
the question
ridiculous.
that I asked you 10 minutes ago. The reason that you didn't want to answer was you hadn't read the story, which I read to you 4 times. I mean, I don't know what more I can do to help you. You hadn't read it.
didn't
I
read
read
the
it to
story
you.
out properly.
Well, you hadn't read
Nor
it,
did I
Tobias.
have an
I read it to you
opportunity.
4 times. You've now just answered Andrew Pierce's comment that it's ridiculous.
Well, I think it was
took
probably
Andrew
my
Pierce.
it was
It
my
took Andrew Pierce to get
explanation.
We now have
My
seven.
explanation.
Tory MP Tobias Ellwood says sex ban is ridiculous. Oh, it's not that hard, is it?
Yeah, exactly. And that's your headline. That's what you want to take away from
I don't
this.
want anything, Tobias, other than what you think
Yeah.
about a government law that's
It
coming
is.
in.
You want your wow moment. That's what you want. That's what you want to achieve when
I
people
would
come
like
onto
the
your show.
programme to be as news-breaking as it can possibly be. Tobias
No,
Ellwood
we've
says sex
we've
ban
gone
is ridiculous
round and
is a
round
good
in
headline.
circles.
Andrew,
The problem is, of course, people can't have that wow moment, and that's why we're discussing it.
exactly. And Susanna speaking from personal experience here.
Oh, I'm saying that that's what thousands of people must be
But actually,
feeling this morning.
Andrew, there's a serious point to this.
Yeah.
Ridiculous or not, the serious point is this is an extraordinary story to me.
How dare
That as
they?
lockdown is being eased, tens of millions of people
Yeah.
who do
Yeah.
not live with
Yeah.
another person will not be able to have sex with people until this lockdown is over. And that
How are
may
they
not be
going-
till the vaccine comes in, which may be never. This might be the end of sex for people who are not currently living with people or married to them for the rest of their natural lives. So yeah, it may be ridiculous, but it's also extraordinary.
Yeah. How are they going to enforce this? Is the obvious. It is absurd, and this will be by about 11 o'clock this morning, when journalists go into 10 Downing Street this morning. They will be clarifying this. Let me tell you. But the trouble is, you know what they're trying to do, but they're making a fool of themselves. The government is turning into a laughing stock with this sort of stuff. It's just embarrassing, really. It's ridiculous, but also embarrassing.
It's ridiculous.
Apparently, also, you can go to a friend's house for a barbecue, but only if you take your own chair. Why do you need a chair?
What the
Why can't
fuck
you
is
sit
this
on
all
the
about?
grass?
We're not children.
Where are they getting this from? Who is coming up with this? Is this what Sage is coming up with? A test and trace is going to turn into a complete farce as well, I'm afraid. But this honestly, I think one thing, we should just have a laugh at it, actually, because it is so ridiculous, it can make us laugh. Because nobody's going to take any notice of it. Am I going to take any notice of that? No.
Well, there you go, you see. And this,
Do you hang on?
I'm going to
Devil
ignore
horns.
this ban on
Right,
sex.
Andrew, do you live with your partner?
Well, he's not here because he's somewhere else.
Oh, he's
Where's
a
he?
batty boy.
Working from looking away. So if I want to see him, I'm not going to have sex with him, obviously.
That's really
Because I'm
interesting.
going to stick to the law. I'm a law-abiding citizen.
Right, so that's really interesting. So that's going to have a real effect on you, unless you decide, as you've just said, to break the law.
I'm a law-abiding citizen. I work for the Daily Mail. Of course we adhere to the law. Of course we do. No, that's why it's such a joke. It's a joke. It's a joke. It's embarrassing. It's so bad.
But Andrew, sorry, I know we can treat it as a joke.
Yeah.
It's damaging to people's relationships. That's damaging to your relationship. We're not just talking about, sex.
But people are going
talking about intimacy.
Yeah, but people are going to look at this and just think, how ridiculous. They're going to think, hang on, Dominic Cummings can drive 265 miles to Durham and back, and he can go to a beauty spot
following his instincts.
Following his instincts, to test his eyesight, but I can't have sex with my partner I might have been with for 10 years.
Look, guys, all I can say is wake up, everyone. Come on. Wake the fuck up.